Hey, what's up guys? It's Tommy from PLG here. So in case you don't know, Alpha 19, they made some massive improvements for like zombies and stuff like that, including modeling, retexturing, and including the way that they fall onto the ground. And we're going to try and see if we can utilize that falling mechanic to our advantage. So let's get into it. So I'm here in my testing world now, and I've built this little, I don't know, pole thing. I don't know what it's called. This podium, if you like, with the cheerleader on top. This is just to demonstrate the fall mechanic. So as I mentioned, each zombie now has a ability, well, different animation, if you like, of when they fall. So they can either like fall flat on the back, or they fall on all fours, or they run at you. They basically, it's quite random how they react, and when they actually fall out of something. And just to demonstrate that, so we've got the cheerleader here on this podium, and if I just turn the AI on, you'll see she falls down. She kind of ragdolls a little bit, and then she gets back up, right? And I'm just going to show you that again. So let's just turn that off, the AI off. Let's spawn another one here. Let's just drop down here. Let's just show you that again. Here she goes. She ragdolls, falls down to the back, and then gets back up. Okay, so it's that little mechanic that we're going to try and utilize. So yeah, we're going to jump over to things that I've built over here. Here's a couple of designs I came up with. Well, they're not really designs, but it was me prototyping. So we'll start with this one here. So just to explain this, what they're going to do is they're going to come up this ramp that I built. Don't worry about the length of the ramp or what it looks like. It was just me kind of playing around. And what they're going to do is get to the point here, and they're going to drop off at this point. And if you didn't watch the last video, I utilized wedge tip corners to build my last Horde base in the last video. I'll put a link somewhere, or I'll put a card somewhere so you can watch that. But essentially, they're going to drop down here, land on these, and then ragdoll off. And then on the other side, as they're landing, what you could do is you can bop them on the head like that. Bosh. Bosh. And you can use it. This is a knife range and melee range as well in fist range. So I'm just going to spawn a few zombies here. Let's just do Joe again. Let's do a feral Joes, right? And let's just get them going. Come up here, buddy. Here we go. So they're going to jump up the ramp up here, and they're going to fall like that. The problem with this is that they fall too quickly. You're not going to get them that many times. Like one or two maybe, but they essentially, it's not going to give you time to kind of melee them too much. Sure, like if there's a lot of them, then they kind of stack, but they fall quite often. What you want is you want each one to fall each time, and then to hold their position, so to give you time to actually bop them on the head. If they keep falling like this, you're not going to have time to do that, right? Taking this concept, I just decided to change this block. So I'm still going to utilize the fall mechanic here, but I'm going to change this block up. So we're just going to go to this next one right here. So in this one, I decided to remove the wedge tip corners and put in the old wedge tips like this. So because in Alpha 19, wedge tips are actually standable blocks now, my idea was that they jump over and then they land on this block, and then you can melee them. And I thought it was a good idea. However, this gap is too big, and I'll show you again what I mean. I think they're coming up. You can't really see. Oh yeah, there they are. There they are. Right, so they land again, but they just keep falling off. It's not really ideal. Sure, you'll get one, maybe two, but it's a little bit too fast, right? A little bit too fast. It's not ideal. And in addition, you can't really see when they're landing. Like, it's quite obstructed, the view that I've got here. Again, I took this idea and then just took it a little bit further, right? So I thought, all right, this gap is a bit too big. What shapes can we do to make this gap half a block bigger? So because this is essentially half a block, and this is essentially half a block, right? Which means it's one full block in the middle. So we just need an extra half block to kind of help it help the zombies really stand where they are. So again, with the ramp here, they jump over and they land, and all I did was I added the wedge tip, not the wedge tip, but the wedge itself. So this is the wedge tip made a little bit higher. So instead of putting it here, I just moved it up and then I added the wedge tip, and then this makes the gap half a block instead of a one full block. So this is still the same here. Actually, no, this is also one step lower. And so they land here, ragdoll a little bit, but it gives them time, gives you time, sorry, to kind of bop them on the head. And again, just to try and demonstrate that again, gets to the top. And he lands, perfect, right? Gives you a bit of a time. You can go ham. Bum, bum, bum. Gives you time, and if you got like a sledgehammer or something like that, gives you time to AoE the lot, like that. So the one flaw about this is that although they now stand, I can't really see when they get here, which is a big disadvantage, because if you're melee, you need that timing, right? You need to see when they're gonna drop. You can't always just rely on them landing, waiting, and then bopping on the head. If you want, excuse me, if you want this design, go for it. This will work for you. You don't need to do anything else. So if you like this, go for it, build it. Again, going further with this block right here and the full mechanic, you take it one step further. Right, so I've added that ramp here again, and I've put in the pillars just for a little bit of reinforcement. You don't need these. I just added them just because I think it looks nice as well. So they jump over into this. Now, to kind of get rid of the visual impairment, if you like, from over here, I decided to put a half block here, a slab. So that way you can actually see when they're going to come, but for a zombie, this is still one full block, and what they're going to do is they're going to try and jump over and then land, right? And then what I've also done is I've just added bars along the side, just kind of a little bit of protection in case any spiders jump through or anything like that, or anything tries to kind of reach through. So we'll stand on this side again and we'll demonstrate how this works. Here he comes, up he goes. I'm just going to use Knuckles just for a change. Jumps over. Perfect. Bop him on the head. Bop him on the head. And as you can see, because they jump a little bit as well, and they ragdoll, some ragdoll down. Gives you time to melee, like so. And the best of what I've found is that the best thing that you can do is if you can't like pop their heads straight away, best thing to do is just to knock them down. Bum. Right, so you need to go back and forth to do this, and if they get a little bit too close, you can just swing your hammer, and this the hammer will give like an AoE knockdown effect. So if they start stacking like this, if I get them to stack again, you can just AoE, and it knocks the whole lot down into the floor below. So here we go. You can just like bop on the head, and if you got a spear, this is in spear range. You can just like do this if you really want to. Let's be honest though, nobody uses a spear. Some of you might, but I definitely don't. Some of you might like the bat. Whack them on the head like so. And you see, you're very safe. I mean, obviously safe as a melee can be. You are gonna get hit every now and again if you get your timing wrong. But yeah, you're gonna have to like go back and forth, go in for the hit, come back, go in for the hit, come back, right? And if you really wanted to, you could still bust out your gun right here. If it gets a little bit like tense, right? If it's a bit too much to handle. But yeah, I think this works. So if we just kill all, and yeah, just utilize this ramp here, and put in the wedge tip, and then the wedge itself, and then a wedge tip here. This should give you enough time and visual and to see the zombies coming over, jumping over, and give you time to actually bop them on the head. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I mean, it's quite easy to show you how I've built this, but I'm going to show you how you build this as well. And this might be the tactic for you for like day 7. All right, so to get started, you're gonna have to need get your cobblestone, and you know, that's quite easily enough to do in the first 7 days. And take that cobblestone, and then you're gonna make your block, your platform that you're gonna stand on. And what I like to do is make it like 5 wide, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the 6th block like that, right? You can do that like this. You can make it narrow if you really wanted to, but I like to make it a little bit wider. Hang on, I've got the wrong blocks. Hang on a second. 1 minute, guys. Let me just change them to the right blocks. Right. So I'm back with the right blocks this time. So as I was saying, you're going to just build your platform, the one that you want to stand on. And normally I like to do this with a 5 gap in between. So we just do that. You can make it 4 or 3 high. It doesn't really matter. So in this case, I'm going to do it 3 high with the 4th being the wall. And then we're just going to build this out. And again, I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like so. And the same way here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like that. And this could be your base as well, to kind of live in for the first few days. Again, materials are very cheap. Just take a couple of like moments to dig some clay up, break some boulders. It doesn't really matter. All right, so once you've got your platform, you want to build your cage that you're gonna live in. So we're just gonna do this as well. Okay, so once you've got your roof and your basic box done, you just want to build up the side here. You don't need that one though, however. And then you can build, it's up to you. You can either, at this point, you can either put like a ramp if you really wanted to, just so you can see, you get a better view. So I'm just going to change this around like so, so you can see what's actually coming. And then you want the fence poles as well, not the centered ones, just the normal ones. So these ones here, and you want to put these on the inside, on the outside, but facing outside like that. Like so. And then what I normally like to do is I like to change this round to horizontal. Like this. Like that. And then, yeah, what you can do is you can put bars along here. But early game, you might not have bars. So what you can do is you can just get rid of those. And then you can just put a horizontal pole here as well. So we can just do this. Oh. Missed it again. I hate it when that happens. Like so. Right? So this way you can melee through those, and this is just a gap for you so you can see. Once you have that, then what you need to do is you need to build a ramp for them to come up. So put your wedge tip down. There we go, like that. And then on this side, facing it, you want your wedge. Let's just get it facing the right way, like so. And then you want your wedge tip on top of that. There you go, like so, right? Then that's essentially it. And then what you need to do is you need to build your ramp that you want to come across, right? And then at the end here, you can put a slab. For the half block, do hold down R, advanced rotation, and then you want to put that either this side or this side. Totally up to you. And you can do a couple of these if you really wanted to. The main one is this one here, because that needs to like make them fall down. Okay, and then if you want to get extra fancy, you can just get the pole again. Take the normal flagstone pole, and you can reinforce this as well. So let's just do simple rotations like that, like that, and you can do this both sides. I'm just going to do one side because the length of this video is going to be short. I need to keep it under like 20 minutes for a YouTube video. So yeah, I'm just going to demonstrate on one side. So you can do that. That's perfectly fine. Right, and then on the back side, you can just put whatever ramp you want. So I'm just going to get rid of this. Put a block down. Make it like 2 blocks apart. So zombies can't jump to it. Like so. Like that, and then just put a door on the side. Again, it doesn't have to be a fancy door, just a secure wooden door is fine. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And this is for your day 7 Horde base, right? So if we start the zombies, and obviously you're not gonna have like T6 bats or anything like that, but you're basically just gonna bop them on the head. Bop them on the head. Like that. Let's say, just to pause that for a second, let's say that instead of a T6 ball, you're going to get like a sledgehammer. Level 1 sledgehammer. Just to demonstrate the knockdown effect of it. So I'm going to start this again. Right click. You see how they all get knocked down? So this could save you perfectly. You might not get a lot of kills with melee. But you see how they kind of do stack a little bit. Like so. And if they land perfectly right, so if they get across, you just wait for them, bop them on the head, like so, smash them on the head like this, like that. Yeah, and that's basically it, really. Very simple, again, very simple design. I've designed these bases so you can build them from day 7 and then just like add to it. Basically. So now that I've built this and you understand the concept of it all, let's go ahead and basically max this out. So let's go over to the mega melee base. Right, so I'm back at the mega melee base that I'm gonna call it, and basically what we've done is we've taken that same concept and just expanded on it. So what I've done here is instead of having one walkway going up, I've done 3 walkways. I've utilized the poles to support them. And if you don't understand why I've used poles to support my structures, if you check on my last video, I'll explain why it is. And it's something from I've learned from Grand Spartan, who again is an excellent YouTuber. But essentially, the poles are a small surface area, and the zombies really don't smack them that often. So that's why I've used poles, and I've used it on both sides here, on each side. Utilized the slabs here, the half blocks. I've also put plates on top as well, in case a demolisher or a cop decides to blow up here for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe you're meleeing and you decide to change it up to using ranged. But yeah, I've put the slabs here, the half blocks, the same lip here with the wedge tip and the wedge, and then the wedge tip here. And then I've put plates along the front here just to give a little bit of cop protection. And then on the sides here, I've added the electric fence posts, which are all hooked up to this generator. So this generator to this switch. This switch then goes out to this switch, and then what I've done is I've linked this switch to each individual fence post. So instead of zigzagging the wire from this fence post to this one, and then that one to that one, what I've done is I've used a switch, linked them all up, and then that fence post goes directly to that one, that fence post goes directly to that one. That way, if the fence post breaks for whatever reason, it's not gonna cause the other fence posts to fail. All right, and you can make this higher. This is a mistake from here. You can make this a higher as well, so you can step this up and just make this higher so they electrify up top here, right? And then same underneath, I've just put it on stilts. And then the top level, this is the bird level. So again, if you didn't realize in Alpha 19, zombies will now attack you from the roof. So I've basically used the same build over there and just transferred it over here. I've used quarter blocks that goes running across over this side with the ladder and the hatch on top here. My junk turret's going to sit up here, covered by a cage, and this little fella is going to help me clear off the vultures, hopefully. All right, so inside here, it's totally up to you how you want to do this. You can also, with a little protection, I'm going to do some iron bars here. Bars. You can also add a little bit of protection here if you don't want to stand too close. You can just put iron bars right here. right? Just to kind of stop any spiders jumping in, or maybe, I don't know, you manage to break one of the legs and then like they're crawling in as well. Again, it's up to you what you want to do. This my ethos is that, you know, I give you the ideas and you take those ideas and you go ham and you build your own base, right? But yeah, if you want to do this, that's completely up to you. So that's really the build. There's not much left to show. If you are a nutcase and you really want to use melee at endgame, I am going to show you what that's going to look like now. So here, what I've done is I've got my spike knuckles fully maxed out. Oh, spike knuckles fully maxed out here. Machete with a burning shaft mod, serrated blade, rad remover. The bat, I do recommend that you put a metal chain mod just for that knockdown effect rather than anything else, because you don't want them stacking up here. I've got a javelin here, sorry, the steel spear again with burning shaft, serrated blade mod. Ergonomic grip is totally up to you. You can use like the fortifying grip or whatever grip that you want. I've just put an ergonomic grip mod here. I put a rad remover here for the irradiated, and then the spike club here is exactly the same. Chain, fire, rad remover, ergonomic, and the same with the steel sledgehammer. The only difference is that I have a weighted head mod as well, just for that extra knockdown effect. Okay, right. So what I'm gonna do now, the game is still set to insane 64 zombies. All right, I'm gonna turn everything on. And we're going to see how we do on day 700 at max game stage. Yeah, 360 game stage. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to set this to day 700, 2200 hours, 0 minutes. This should give us Horde Night. So here they come. Here she comes. Comes down, gets electrified. Bop in the head. Next one. Runs along, lands, bop him in the head. Falls down. Next one. And you just basically keep going like this. Coppers are going to be the problem here. Coppers, what I do recommend is that you get rid of them as soon as possible. Do not mess around with the coppers at all. And also, don't use the digger gun either. Where's my shotty? Did I just ruin my base? No, I didn't use my base. Get rid of the coppers as soon as possible. Don't mess around with them. If you can one-shot them, perfect. Because they can hit you when they explode. And here we go. We're going to use the sledgehammer just for a change. You are going to get spat at, sadly. If you want to stand to the side, you can do. You just have to be wary and keep an eye on that. Coppers, again, you're going to have to try and bop them in the head or knock them down. Bop them in and knock them down. So they ragdoll down. Like so. Okay? If you are doing melee, I do recommend getting some of these, the candies. This is the Skull Crusher candy. And then this is the health bar. Just pop one. Get some beer as well. Use the beer. Let's get rid of the spear. Use a beer. This will also increase your melee damage. And you can go ham like this. Let's get rid of let's get some more candies going. And they stack. There you go. There he goes. There he goes. Like so. Break their legs. Break her legs. Smash in the face. This guy as well. He drops down. I do have to say, melee is probably not the best for a very late game style of gameplay. This just gives you an option of actually having melee if you really wanted to. Ideally what you should do is you should have a mixture of melee and range, right? Like so. So you want to pop the coppers as soon as possible. Oh, he glitched in. He lost his leg and glitched in. There we go. Like so. Again, smash him in the face. just gives you that little bit of option. The electric fence really helps here. I do recommend the electric fence. Yeah, just get rid of the copper right here. Pop them on the head. And you see, I'm relatively safe, actually. Yeah, I think that's good. I just want to do this just so you can see what it looks like. Obviously, I'm not doing Horde Night like this. I can't really melee at this point. But that's essentially what it's going to look like. So they're going to run up the middle, run up the back, and they're going to get choked up at the back here. So I'm just going to go back into first person view. And go back in here. Whoops, you can see my eyeballs. Knock them all down. There they go. Again, very, very safe. And that's it, really. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it helps you get inspired to build your own melee horde base. I'm not gonna lie, melee is not my thing. You're probably cringing how I'm meleeing as well. Yeah, go for it, guys. Show me your videos. Discord in the description below. My Twitter as well. And yeah, by all means, come over to my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/pixellifegaming. Just come say hi. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Peace.